So good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I want to welcome you to this breakfast for our second day of conference and introduce myself. My name is Jim Bailey, and I am CEO of GCC Technologies, a certified HUBZone company headquartered in Oakland, Maryland. GCC was first certified as a HUBZone company in February of 2000. That makes us one of the oldest HUBZone companies in the nation today. So today I have the distinct privilege and honor of introducing our guest speaker for this morning. Isabel Casillas Guzman was sworn in as the 27th Administrator of the U.S. Small Business Administration on March 17, 2021. She serves as the voice of America's 32.5 million small businesses and innovative startups in President Joe Biden's cabinet. Administrator Guzman has made supporting small business her life's work. From a very young age, working beside her father in his chain of veterinary hospitals in Southern California, she gained a deep appreciation for the small business owners who define main streets in neighborhoods across America, delivering our products and services and innovate to solve global problems. Administrator Guzman spent her early career in the private sector as a founder, advisor, and consultant. There she learned the crucial role small businesses play in creating paths to the American dream. She went on to commit herself to public service, serving as Deputy Chief of Staff and Senior Advisor at the SBA, and as Small Business Advocate for the state of California to help advance equity, opportunity, and entrepreneurship. Under Administrator Guzman's leadership, the SBA has continued to scale dramatically while revamping programs and services to address crucial challenges, delivering hundreds of billions to relief and help millions of small businesses survive the pandemic. Administrator Guzman leads with a customer-first, technology-forward, and equitable approach. She will continue to work to transform SBA's programs and services to meet all small businesses where they are, to deliver the capital, revenue growth opportunities, and support networks all entrepreneurs need to start, grow, and lead in our reimagining economy. Please join me in welcoming to the stage our SBA Administrator, the Honorable Isabel Casillas Guzman.
Good morning. Thank you very much. Come on stage. Good morning, everybody. It's a pleasure to be back here, and this is a much larger crowd than last year. It's exciting to be at these events. Thank you so much, Jim, for your leadership in the HUBZone program for all these years. That's a huge accomplishment to be thriving for that many years in this program, and I appreciate the kind introduction and the example that you set for all of us here in terms of what's possible within the HUBZone program, as well to Shirley Bailey for your leadership on the HUBZone Council as chair, as well as Michelle. I saw her earlier. There you are. Thank you so much for your leadership of the HUBZone Council. You know, the government contracting is not easy, as we all know, and we appreciate the council for the leadership that you demonstrate in trying to help us ensure that we can improve our programs at the SBA and across the federal government and help open up more opportunities in the federal marketplace for our incredible small businesses. I'm excited to be here on behalf of my incredible team. It's really an honor to serve as their voice at the SBA, and I really appreciate, I'm sure many of you have gotten a chance to get to know Lori Gillen for her great leadership at the SBA, so thank you for being here. I know Antonio Das is joining us as well. Lori, of course, leads our HUBZone program as director, and Antonio Das is our associate administrator in the government contracting team. The whole government contracting team has been working diligently to ensure that we can advance our mission, and their efforts are applauded by me. So I appreciate their being here, and truly the entire SBA team. I know that we talk about the scaling of SBA, but the team across the capital team that helps you get the funding and the bonding, as well as the network of advisors that are there to help with strategy, are really critical to American small businesses, and appreciate all their efforts. And our work at the SBA is really centered around all of you, the incredible HUBZone entrepreneurs that are in the room today and around the nation, because your grit and resilience have really helped power the economy through this COVID-impacted marketplace. And most importantly, you provide goods and services to my federal agency colleagues to help achieve their mission. And you're needed in so many ways to help America further advance and help us lead the way to building a strong, sustainable economy that really truly works for everyone. As was shared earlier by Jim, I've spent my life in small business as the daughter, as well as granddaughter, actually, of a federal contractor. As well as a small business owner myself and advisor to founders, now as the voice of America's businesses in the President's cabinet, I've really been able to travel around the country and get to know so many of our incredible small businesses that have been able to help us achieve this historic economic recovery. These are the businesses in communities that help us create 2/3 of net new jobs, who produce 40% of our economic output, and who are the ones who are delivering the products and services that we depend on in our neighborhoods and around the globe to solve challenging problems that our nations face. During COVID, I saw these small businesses, like you all, have to pivot and adapt. That phrase that has become a catch-all for everything that you had to do to help propel our economy forward. And thanks to the President's American Rescue Plan, we've been able to achieve that strongest recovery across the globe, as I mentioned. I can attest to the incredible impact that those small businesses, so many small businesses, have made in their communities. And I think thanks in part, as I've heard from so many directly, to SBA's critical response on COVID financial relief, whether it was through PPP or EIDL, or helping businesses adapt their strategies to the marketplace. We've seen transformation across our small businesses, and they've leveraged this moment, I think, to innovate, adopt technology at higher rates, find new ways of doing business that strengthens their balance sheets and helps them, deal with the changing environment, inflationary pressures, and a tight labor market, which I know are still challenging so many of our small businesses. In the Biden-Harris administration, President Biden recognizes that more work needs to be done. And it's focused on trying to help deliver that stable economy by lowering costs and leveling the playing field, making critical investments to ensure that there's opportunity. And those historic investments through the President's signature legislative achievements is what we're focused on the horizon, and ensuring small businesses have a part to play in it. All across the country, small businesses are hard at work leveraging the historic investments to rebuild our nation's infrastructure, from broadband to roads and bridges, airports, et cetera. They've been able to help, thanks to the Bipartisan Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act, propel their businesses and rebuild their local communities. And they're advancing American manufacturing and innovation through the CHIPS and Science Act. And they're also set to help power our nation's energy transition, thanks to the Inflation Reduction Act. and those investments that we're going to be making in trying to build our climate leadership into the future. You know, the Inflation Reduction Act is not only going to strengthen innovation, manufacturing, and supply chains with historic investments, but also help us, you know, grow a clean energy economy and lower costs on some critical areas that impact small businesses, such as healthcare and energy costs. You know, as administrator of the SBA, my job is really to help make sure small businesses can take advantage of these historic opportunities. And so I've asked my team, as was mentioned earlier, to meet entrepreneurs where they are. That's my mantra. You know, we should be as entrepreneurial and adaptive to meet the needs of our small businesses as possible and make sure that they have the resources so that we can deliver the promise of the American dream of business ownership to more Americans across the country and to more communities. You know, and as hopefully many of you here today know, of course, we fund, bond, and invest and help connect entrepreneurs to market opportunities, whether that's to the federal marketplace, to new markets around the world, or simply in local communities. We help deliver those dreams to more entrepreneurs in an inclusive manner, which is, of course, the focus of the Biden-Harris administration, making sure that the economy works for everyone, that all of our entrepreneurs have a fair shot. You know, President Biden has built a remarkable record of success in the first 18 months as president. Even in small business alone, we had record entrepreneurship rates last year, 20% higher startup rate than any year on record, with 5.4 million entrepreneurs deciding to launch their business. You know, and as we've pushed to rebuild our economy from the bottom up and the middle out, he's committed to equity and access. And at the SBA, that means we have to take down those barriers to capital, those barriers to the marketplace, including in federal contracting, so that we can help more businesses succeed. You know, I think especially during this challenging time, programs like the HUBZone program. You know, this is a program that gives us one of the greatest tools to ensure that all communities have equitable access to opportunity by investing in underserved and underutilized communities. You know, and the reason why we do this is because these are the businesses that are going to help us power up a Made in America manufacturing movement, are going to help power up our innovation leadership to ensure that we are globally competitive and that we have stronger domestic supply chains to sustain, and job creation to ensure that our economy can be stable. We do need all of our great entrepreneurs in order to achieve all these goals and build a better America. And driving that change really starts with the federal government, the largest buyer of the world. President Biden wants to use the power of the federal purse to drive change, to drive and advance an equitable economy, which is why, you know, your work in particular is so important. Small businesses are the key to fortifying our industrial base, that federal supply chain, and ensuring innovation for all of our federal agencies. Yet we know over the past 10 years, the number of small business contractors has been in decline. And you know, that's dropped close to 40%, and it's on track to continue to drop to 50% in the next couple years. Our socioeconomic firms, the same small businesses who were hit hardest by the pandemic by accounts of multiple studies, continue to receive a disproportionate share of those government contracts. You know, we can't afford to let those great entrepreneurs sit on the sidelines of the federal marketplace. We want to attract them back in to do business with the federal government. And last year, to achieve that end, the Biden-Harris administration implemented a series of critical reforms to help more small businesses, and especially all of our socioeconomic firms, which includes the HUBZone program, to compete and win valuable contracts. In fiscal year 21, of course, the federal government, as you've seen from our recent scorecard release, spent a record-breaking $154 billion with small businesses. That's an $8 billion increase over the year before. And we, you know, are hoping to continue that trend forward. You know, President Biden has specifically committed to opening doors to federal contracting, and specifically has committed to increasing the share that goes to small disadvantaged businesses to 15% by 2025. And to achieve that end, we've made reforms across our socioeconomic firms, which will, of course, benefit the HUBZone program. The SBA has been working with the White House and all of our federal agencies, those big buyers that are in the room, hopefully as well, to try to implement reforms to make it easier for all of our businesses to do business with the federal government. I know that what we aspire to has to be tracked as well, and so we're tracking performance in strategic sourcing, category management. So we've negotiated automatic credit for all socioeconomic firms, including HUBZones, in the Tier 2 level of federal contracting. We've also tried to incentivize our federal contracting officers by tracking in their performance goals those small business goals, and especially the socioeconomic goals in particular. We want to ensure accountability and make sure that we're tracking and reporting on important data, including disaggregated data across race and ethnicity, across industries, to understand where we can improve, where there's opportunity to recruit and engage more of our small businesses around the country. And while our recent contracting scorecard for 21 showed progress in our HUBZone program, I know that we're still not there at where we would like to be. We have not hit our 3% goal. Collectively, of course, HUBZone small businesses received a historic $14.3 billion in federal contracting government-wide, which is a 10-year high, 2.5% goal achieved, and that's an increase of $700 million with our federal spend with HUBZone programs. But despite the fact that the federal government has not hit that 3% statutory goal, it did reach the highest amount ever awarded, so we know that there's work that can be done to continue to further that goal. And we know that those aren't just dollars and contracts. Those are real businesses hiring real people in communities that need to advance and need to grow and build wealth in communities. And as a result of that work, that additional $700 million, we've strengthened so many communities around the nation. Even before the pandemic, HUBZone firms, together with all of our small business contractors, frankly, were a critical element in all of our work to strengthen America's supply chains, rebuild our infrastructure, expand domestic manufacturing, and propel innovation. And as we continue America's pivot from recovery to sustainable growth, the SBA is continuing to build a HUBZone program that is stronger than ever. In the past year alone, we have reduced HUBZone application processing times by 40%, which now means that we have a 3-week turnaround to decision from final application. We have continued to focus on expanding the HUBZone footprint, approving 35 new census tracts in Illinois last year and 10 new HUBZones in Colorado and Virginia earlier this year through the new Governor's Designated Area Initiative. We're not stopping at those 3 states. We have worked closely on the ground with our district offices and our incredible HUBZone team to ensure that we reach out to all of the governor's offices and let them know how they can increase the number of designated HUBZones in their state and help them through that process. We've added hundreds of qualified non-metro counties as well so that more SBA services can reach many more of our nation's most rural entrepreneurs and communities. So much of our progress has come with the help of the HUBZone Council and many others that are here today, the work that you do every day to compete for contracts, win contracts, and employ people in the communities you serve. And as a result of our work together, more than 1/3 of all counties across America are qualified HUBZones, and more entrepreneurs from everywhere can access the opportunities and resources that they need to start, grow, and build resilient businesses. And we are committed to continuing to partner, listening to your insights, listening to the challenges that you face on an everyday basis as entrepreneurs, and evolve this program in particular so that we can achieve that 3% goal and beyond. We know that there are changing needs across our HUBZone community and are trying to address some of those concerns, including in our upcoming regulatory agenda, where we're contemplating how to handle principal office and teleworking situations. As we know, the future of work has changed. It's efforts like these, and it's commitments by our incredible team at the SBA to continue to evolve that will be the focus of my leadership here at the SBA. As we ready the nation and the American people for the challenges ahead, we do have to make sure that we harness that incredible talent of our entrepreneurs. And I know that we cannot be static. We need to evolve and ensure that we are meeting you truly where you are in the types of challenges and situations that you're facing as entrepreneurs today. We're readying all of our programs across the agency, including our lending programs with reforms, investment programs, our innovation grants, and we're readying our networks as well so that we can better support and get more of our small businesses contract ready to do business with the federal government. Because this is the bottom line. The SBA invests in America's entrepreneurs through our critical federal programs, not just because it's the right thing to do, but clearly because that investment consistently pays off for the American people. So I appreciate you leading the efforts in your communities to advance opportunity, to advance the mission of the federal agencies that you support with your great work, and I applaud your efforts and look forward to continued partnership. Thank you so much.
I got a little something special for you. That's going to be provided to you by a very special lady. Okay. As the administrator, as many of you know, this past year, because we're crazy, we launched a digital magazine. Every month, it's called Trailblazer. The intent behind the Trailblazer magazine is to showcase the impact individuals are having within their communities. It's not about government contracting. It's about embracing what this program's about and the impact it can have when people believe in it and implement it properly. So just to make a point, would my fellow Trailblazers please stand? I know there's quite a few of you in the room here today. And I see Angela not standing. Okay. Miss Bailey also, Lori Gillen also was a fellow Trailblazer. She tried to fight me on it. She said absolutely not. If you guys have not read her article, you'll completely understand why she was recognized. So today, rather than giving you an award, we would like to provide you with copies of our Trailblazer magazines, which were graciously provided to us by Rondo Pack, a fellow HUBZone small business that we gave them days notice because just a couple days ago, we released our HBCU edition. It was a lot of no sleep, and by a lot of no sleep, actually, Angela and this lovely lady over here did all of the hard work. These ladies custom design all of the editing, I don't think they slept for 3 days because they wanted to get it out because it was that important to them. So without further ado, I would like the editor-in-chief, Miss Lily Milliner, to do the honors of providing you with a copy and the fresh, hot off the press editions. So hopefully this will help remind you how important this program is and what is happening with it. So thank you so much for being here today. Also, I have a little certificate.